cry over a piece of bread, and then completely change how I feel about food forever. I'm not talking about just cutting back on pasta or skipping dessert. I'm talking about zero carbs. No bread, no rice, no fruits, no vegetables with carbs, nothing. 2 weeks ago, I made what seemed like the worst decision of my life. But by the end of this video, you'll see why it might have been one of the best. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to take you through every single day of this challenge. If you've ever thought about trying a no-carb diet, or if you're just curious about what happens to your body when you completely eliminate carbs, this video is for you. But before we dive in, make sure to hit that like button if you enjoy real, honest content about health challenges. And subscribe if you want to see more of these experiments, because trust me, I put myself through a lot for you guys. Maiden content, let me start by explaining what I mean by no carbs, because this is important. I mean zero. The only carbs I consumed came from trace amounts in eggs, cheese, and meat. We're talking maybe 2 to 3 grams total per day. My meals consisted of beef, chicken, fish, eggs, cheese, butter, and salt. That's it. No vegetables, no fruits, no nuts, no anything else. I know it sounds extreme, and honestly it was. Day 1. The confident beginning. Day 1 started with so much confidence. I woke up, had scrambled eggs with cheese, and thought this is going to be easy. I felt normal throughout the day. I was actually excited about this challenge. I remember thinking, why do people say this is hard? Day 2. Reality hits. Day 2 is when things started getting weird. I woke up with this strange fog in my head. It wasn't a headache exactly, but my brain felt like it was wrapped in cotton. I kept reaching for my usual morning apple out of habit. Then I'd remember no apples, no anything except animal products, like something was missing, because something was missing. Day 3. Enter the carb flu. This is where things got real. Day 3 hit me like a truck. I woke up feeling like I had the actual flu. My head was pounding. My body ached. I felt weak and dizzy. It is what people call the carb flu, and let me tell you, it's no joke. I questioned everything. Why was I doing this to myself? Was it worth it? The answer felt like a hard no. Day 4. The lowest point. If day 3 was bad, day 4 was worse. I barely slept the night before. My heart was racing for no reason. Yes, breathing too loud. The brain fog was so thick I couldn't focus on anything. This was the day I almost quit. Not because I was sad, but because my body was going through withdrawal from carbs. Day 1. The confident beginning. Day 1 started with so much confidence. I woke up, had scrambled eggs with cheese, and thought this is going to be easy. I felt normal throughout the day. I was actually excited about this challenge. I remember thinking, why do people say this is hard? Famous last words. I woke up with this strange fog in my head. I kept reaching for my usual morning apple out of habit. Then I'd remember no apples, no anything except animal products. The cravings weren't too bad yet, but I felt off. Day 3. Enter the carb flu. This is where things got real. Day 3 hit me like a truck. I woke up feeling like I had the actual flu. My head was pounding. My body ached. I felt weak and dizzy. This is what people call the carb flu, and let me tell you, it's no joke. Why was I doing this to myself? Was it worth it? Day 4. The lowest point. If day 3 was bad, day 4 was worse. I barely slept the night before. My heart was racing for no reason. I felt anxious and irritable. The brain fog was so thick I couldn't focus on anything. I tried to work, but gave up after staring at my computer screen for an hour without typing a single word. I sat in my kitchen, looking at a banana on the counter, and almost cried. Not because I was sad, but because my body was going through withdrawal from carbs. Day 5. Slight improvement. Day 5 brought a tiny bit of hope. I still felt terrible, but maybe 10% less terrible. The headache was still there, but not as intense. I managed to eat a proper meal, some salmon with butter. It actually tasted okay. I even went for a short walk, though I felt weak the entire time. The brain fog was still heavy, but I could at least function somewhat. I started reading about what was happening to my body. When you cut carbs completely, your body has to switch from burning glucose to burning fat. This process is called ketosis, and the transition can be rough, really rough, as I was learning firsthand. Day 6. Fighting through. Day 6 was about persistence. I still didn't feel great, but I was determined to push through. I had some beef for breakfast, which felt weird, but whatever. Normal breakfast rules didn't apply anymore. I noticed my sleep was still off. I'd fall asleep easily, but wake up multiple times during the night. My dreams were vivid and strange. I dreamed about pizza 3 times this night. Not kidding. The cravings were intense, but they came in waves. I'd be fine for a few hours, then suddenly desperately want bread, or fruit, or literally anything that wasn't meat, eggs, or cheese. Day 7. The turning point. Day 7 changed everything. I woke up and something felt different. The fog in my head was lighter, not gone, but definitely improved. I had more energy than I'd had since day 1. I'd made myself some eggs and actually enjoyed eating them. This was the first time food tasted good since starting the challenge. I went for a longer walk and didn't feel weak. My mood was better too. I wasn't irritable or anxious. For the first time in a week, I felt like maybe this wasn't a terrible idea. I think this is when my body finally started adapting to burning fat instead of carbs. The worst was behind me. Days 8 to 10. Building momentum. These 3 days were like a completely different experience. Day 8, I woke up feeling actually good. Not just better than yesterday good, but genuinely good. My energy was stable throughout the day. No afternoon crashes, no brain fog. I cooked a nice ribeye steak, and it was delicious. Day 9 continued this trend. I noticed my sleep had improved dramatically. I was falling asleep faster and staying asleep through the night. No more weird dreams about food. My skin looked clearer too, though that might have been my imagination. Day 10 was when I realized something interesting about hunger. I wasn't getting hungry as often. I could go 6 to 7 hours without eating and feel completely fine. This was very different from my usual eating pattern where I'd get hungry every 3 to 4 hours. Days 11 to 12. Feeling strong by day 11, I felt amazing. My energy levels were higher than they'd been in months. Not just stable energy, but actually high energy. I went for a long bike ride and felt great the entire time. My focus and concentration were sharp. I got more work done in one day than I had in the previous week combined. Day 12 continued this trend. I felt like my body had fully adapted to this way of eating. Food cravings were minimal. When I did eat, I felt satisfied with smaller portions. A piece of grilled chicken and some cheese would keep me full for hours. Days 13 to 14. The final stretch, the last 2 days, were about reflection and preparation for transitioning back. Day 13. I spent time thinking about what I'd learned. My relationship with food had definitely changed. I wasn't thinking about food constantly like I used to. I ate when I was hungry, stopped when I was full. It sounds simple, but it was different from my normal pattern. Day 14 was bittersweet. I felt great physically and mentally. Part of me was curious about continuing, but I also missed certain foods, not the junk food cravings from earlier in the challenge. I missed variety. I missed the social aspect of sharing different foods with friends. The results are what actually happened after 14 days of no carbs. Physically, I lost 8 pounds. Now, some of this was probably water weight, especially in the first few days, but my clothes fit better and I felt leaner. My energy levels were more stable throughout the day. No more afternoon crashes or energy dips. My sleep improved significantly after the first week. I was falling asleep faster and waking up more refreshed. Mentally, the changes were even more interesting. My focus and concentration were noticeably better. I could work for longer periods without getting distracted. My mood was more stable too. Less irritability, less anxiety. The biggest change was my relationship with food. I stopped thinking about food constantly. Eating became more functional and less emotional. I wasn't using food for entertainment or comfort like I used to. What I learned this challenge taught me several important things. First, our bodies are incredibly adaptable. The first week was rough, but my body figured out how to function without carbs. Second, a lot of my eating was habitual, not driven by actual hunger. When I removed most food options, I realized how often I ate out of boredom or routine. Third, stable energy is amazing. Not having blood sugar spikes and crashes made a huge difference in how I felt throughout the day. Fourth, food cravings are temporary. Even the intense cravings from days 3 to 6 eventually went away. But I also learned this isn't sustainable for me long term. While I felt good physically, I missed the variety and social aspects of eating. Food is more than just fuel. It's culture, it's social connection, it's enjoyment. Cutting out entire food groups forever isn't something I want to do. Would I recommend this? This is a tough question. The experience was valuable for me personally. It reset my relationship with food and showed me what my body is capable of. But it's extreme, and it's not necessary for most people. If you're curious about reducing carbs, you don't need to go to zero. Start with cutting out processed foods and see how you feel. If you do want to try something like this, please talk to a doctor first, especially if you have any health conditions or take medications. The first week was genuinely difficult. Make sure you have support and don't have any major commitments during that time. Outro. So, there you have it. My complete 14-day no-carb challenge experience. From the confident start to the miserable carb flu to the eventual adaptation and results. It was harder than I expected, but also more enlightening than I thought it would be. The biggest takeaway isn't that everyone should eat no carbs. It's that paying attention to how different foods affect your body is valuable. We're all different. What works for me might not work for you. But experimenting mindfully can teach you a lot about yourself. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It helps more people find content like this. And if you want to see more health and fitness challenges, make sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on. Let me know in the comments if you've ever tried a no-carb diet, or if you're rethinking about it. I'd love to hear about your experiences. What questions do you have about this challenge? What would you want to know more about? I read every comment and I love connecting with you all. Until next time, take care of yourselves, and remember that the best diet is the one you can stick to long term. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.